Fears. What are they anyway? What are they like? How feasible are they? Is it possible not to be afraid of anything at all? These are the questions I've been asking myself for the last half hour, lying in bed. It's 22:55 on the clock. It's almost 3 in the morning. I'm lying on my side of the bed, stroking my cat, which, by the way, is named Ayakashi. It was my choice of name. And it's no accident. Ayakashi is the spirit that appears after a shipwreck, and my parents brought this kitten who was stuck on an ice floe that was beginning to melt. And my name is Faya, though my name means shiny and radiant. I am scared to death of the stage. I prefer quiet and comfortable places with a cup of coffee, favorite music and a good book. I especially like something about mythology and witches. By the way, about fears, I'm afraid of a lot of things: insects, depth, the stage, other people's stares, heights. Oh, you'll grow old faster than I list them all for you. So let's stop there. But I went into word to tell you not about how you'll grow old or anything, but about something that happened very recently, and how Ayakashi saved my life. It was in 7th grade. I had just moved to a new school because of the move, and I didn't get the best class, to say the least. They kind of loved me, but they loved me only for my knowledge. If I had been an underachiever, no one would have been interested in me at all. I've almost got over it, do not worry. One day, coming back after school, I dropped by a quick Ayakashi store for food and bought myself a pal pie. I'm sorry, I cannot resist. There was a strange man in his 40s standing in front of me at the checkout. He had a weird scar on his face in the shape of a braid worn by death itself. Or just a G-shaped scar. I do not know why, but I remember this man, though he was not distinguished by anything, except the braid of death. The salesgirl asked angrily, and I turned my attention away from the man who was leaving me. Want anything else? Go and choose, don't take your turn. Even though there was no one behind me, and the store was empty, but I still put my purchases and paid by card. I got to our houses and went into the one listed as number 8. Me, Mom, Dad, and my 2 sisters live in townhouses, which are houses that have 1 or 2 walls in common with neighboring houses, most of them the same in appearance so that perfectionists don't go crazy. Should I tell my story about how I spent 2 goddamn hours panting for physics? Let's teleport for the evening, shall we? It's 22:20, time to get ready for bed. I'm on a schedule, unlike my comrades in arms. After checking to make sure the living room and kitchen were tidy, I found that the large bowl and ladle were still dirty, probably from breakfast, because my mother had made pancakes. Oh, man, I'm gonna have to wash up. So I rolled up my sleeves and started trying to wipe off the dried dough. No one thought to soak it. I think at this point all the girls are crying, so take a break and go to the store for ice cream. In American shows helps. While wiping the bowl, I heard some rustling from the hall. Opposite the sink there is a ledge of wall, which spoils my whole view, so I do not see where the rustling. My first thought was that my dad had come to scare me or to eat. One or the other. No one showed up. I grinned, realizing that it was my damn imagination that was giving me the idea of adventure, but an uncomfortable feeling of unease settled in my chest. You might say it was your beloved Ayakashi playing, but no, she was lying at my feet, but it was only now that I saw that she was not asleep, but also had her ears perked up, which did not give me confidence, but rather increased my fear. I brushed my teeth quickly and ran back to my room, feeling as if she would protect me. I was about to fall asleep when I heard scraping sounds outside the door. Like right through the door. My heart raced with terrible force, and I got up from the bed, gently pressed the handle and pulled the door toward me, and phew, a cat. What a fright she gave me. I went back to bed, wrapping the warm blanket around my neck and hugging Ayakashi, falling asleep very quickly. She made me feel safe. I don't know how much time had passed, but I woke up again. What kind of night was this? Can I get a good night's sleep? When I opened my eyes, I realized that I was lying on my back, looking at the door. Scraping again. Did Ayakashi decide to run over? Why does she walk so much? Oh shit, she's making me get up again. I felt a quiet purr at my left side that interrupted my monologue. Oh, no. That lump of fur is lying with me. Then who's at the door? I could clearly hear the scraping. My head and muscles ached sharply, my chest felt like it was being pressed and I began to gasp. Apparently, from fear. But the worst of it would only begin now. I'm lying on the bed and I can't look away from the door, which slowly opens. I want to turn away, but my muscles are so tight and sore that I can't do it. The door is already 1/3 open, and I am still fighting my own body to hide under the covers, hoping that it will save me from this nightmare. And the door won't stop, and it's already half open. My cat is nervous, too, and is already sitting instead of lying down. She is looking at the same point I am looking at. In the doorway I notice a thick figure resembling a human silhouette. But the door doesn't stop, opening wider and wider. Ayakashi arches his back to make himself look scarier and somehow protect the helpless me. The moonlight falls on the silhouette's face, and I discern the very scythe of death. The thought of him coming for me flashes through my mind, and tears begin to flow. I'm so young, I'm not even out of high school yet, and I don't even talk about the guy. No, it can't end like this. What about the phrases from the books, like look death in the eyes, and let it be sorry it came? Doesn't it work? Through the pain I gathered all the air I could into my lungs and exhaled. It was something mixed between a mooing and a normal exhalation, but death was gone. I could do it. Before I knew it, Ayakashi had changed her position and was already sitting closer to the door, and it was like she was meowing victoriously, too. Now my tears were flowing, not tears of fear and pain, but tears of joy and relief. In the morning I told my mother everything, and she said that the symptoms were very similar to sleep paralysis, and the rustling was just a fantasy. Still, I think it was Ayakashi who saved me, because she was so diligent about arching her back to make herself seem bigger and scarier. By the way, remember that list of fears you can list until you're old? What do you think of the idea of putting the dude with a death scar on it? Sounds good to me.